Welcome, let's do this together, friends. We're going to take a look at understanding factoring of perfect square trinomials, and then I'll give you several examples. But first, it's motivated through an example using FOIL. So imagine we have 2x plus 3. Now look at very carefully at the position of the 2x and the 3. Really keep those in mind and where they're located within this binomial. Okay, focus on that. So let's expand this. FOIL means 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. And now, FOIL says you're going to have this. You're going to have 2x times 2x, which is going to give you 2x squared at first. Deliberately, I am not sending this exponent of 2 over to the 2 here and the x here. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it because I want to make sure there's a 2x clearly in this position. I'll get to the sending this exponent to the 2 and the x in the base eventually. Plus, then FOIL says you're going to do next 2x times this 3 on the outside. Always for outers, right? So you're going to end up, in other words, with 2x times 3. FOIL says next you're going to do the 3 times the 2x, which is the same again as 2x times 3. Doesn't matter how you write it because 2x times 3 is the same as 3 times 2x. You can arrange these either way. And at the end, you're going to have 3 times 3, which is 3 squared. Look at especially these two middle terms. So let me remind you, if you have a plus a, that's 2a, correct? So now imagine a is 2x times 3. So that would be like saying in our case, again, the same thing. 2x, again, not sending the exponent over. I want to be clear on that stage. So 2x, and then it's squared. The 2x times 3 and the 2x times 3, those two things are there twice. That means you're going to put plus 2 and say a bracket 2x times 3. And at the end, you're going to have 3 squared. Look at this key step. This is the key step right here. Let me make this note. Key step. Look very carefully. Whatever is in this position right here, it's the same thing as in this position right here. Whatever is in this position in green is the same as the thing that is in this position right here, you see? And the fact that there's a 2 on the outside here, I'm going to make that 2 in blue, that's just an artifact of the fact that that term is there and it's the same term and is there twice. If we're going to focus on this step, this will be the key step, but for now let's multiply this out all the way. So you can make this 2 squared x squared. Multiply all these numbers in the middle. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12, so you have 12x plus 3 squared is 9 at the end, and we therefore end up with 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. This is the multiplied out version of the original 2x plus 3 squared. So why would I do all of this? Because you see this step right here. If I can take a trinomial from this form, and if I can, through the correct analysis, write it in this form, then I can factor it very quickly into this form. In other words, let's make this summary observation here. We can reverse these steps. Now let's look at this example. So x squared plus 14x plus, for example, 49. I need to try to make it into this form that says the key step right here. I need to make it into that form. So I can recognize what's in this position and what's in this position and what's in the middle, because I can plug them into something like this at the very beginning. So I'm going to have, for example, x squared, within parentheses to emphasize it's just x, plus the 14x could at first be written as 2 times 7x, because this 2 here in the middle, that has to be the same as this 2. Okay, because remember this 2 here indicates there's a term that's doubled in the middle. But that's not enough. You can't just say 7x. You see, you also want to say, for example, remember at the end we have 7 squared right here, right? If you do 7x, then the 7 goes into this position and then the x goes into this position. So they match. So I'm going to clarify this by doing x times 7 this way. And now look very carefully. Whatever is in this position is the same thing as here. And whatever this 7 here is in this position in green, it's the same thing here. You see this? That's why they have to be written this way. So now you're going to simply have x plus 7 and the quantity is squared. Simple. Next one, 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. Let's rewrite this. So first I'm going to write the 4x squared as 2x quantity squared. That's allowed because 4 is the same as 2 squared and x squared is the same as x with a square. And now the middle, again, I want to emphasize that the term is doubled, so I'm going to put a 2. And what's left over when you take 2 out of 4? 2x in this position. And at the end, this one is really like writing plus 1 squared, you see? But now it doesn't seem like there's a 1 anywhere in the middle that we need to match, say, this one in green right here. So you can just introduce it, you can just type or write 1. That's allowed always because 2x times 1 is still 2x. It doesn't change anything, you see? So now this one matches this one, and then this x right here, or 2x rather, in red, matches this 2x in red right here. You see this? And now, with that understanding in place, you can just write this quickly as 2x plus 1 quantity squared, you see? Let's do another one here. So 25x squared plus 10x, say plus 1. Again, you're going to write this as 5x quantity squared because 5 squared is 25. And again, you want to rewrite the middle so it shows something doubled or multiplied by 2. You're going to say 2 times 5x because 2 times 5 is 10. And at the end, where it says 1, it's really 1 squared, correct? Again, you got to make the pieces match. So since this is a 1, and this 5x already here, let me make that in red, this 5x right here, okay? That already matches this 5x right here. Then you can't just have 5x. You got to have 5x times 1 to be more clear. Because the pieces have to be all in the right place. And now, with that in place, you're going to have 5x plus 1 quantity squared. And again, the 5x in red goes into this position, and that positive 1 that you see there, it goes into this position. Same thing with this one. Let me emphasize. So the 2x in red goes into this position, and that 1 in green goes in this position. Same thing over here. The x in red goes into this position, and the 7 at the end, positive, goes into that position. As our last exercise, let's finish up. So you're going to have 25x squared as another example, plus, let's see here, 20x plus 4. Again, write the first term as 5x within a base, within parentheses, quantity squared plus 2. The middle can be written now as 2 times 10x. And then plus 2 squared at the very end. We write the middle, so it's going to be 5x squared plus 2. And you want to make sure that one of the factors of 10x is 5x, and the other one is 2 from the two ends here, right? So you're going to put 5x times 2 for that reason, plus the 2 squared at the very end. So now notice, look very carefully, right? This 2 matches this 2 in the base, and this 5x in red here matches this 5x in red right here. They have to match, so now it just becomes the following: 5x plus 2 quantity squared. And that's it, it's factored. Let me stress this, the 5x goes into this position, so that's our red, and then the positive 2 goes into this position, and that is our blue. Oops, let me just make that green here. But everything is again motivated by making sure you take the time to understand where, for example, terms are placed when you apply FOIL and you do something like 2x plus 3 squared. And the key step is to take this form right here, this form, and write it in this form, because then you can identify all of the pieces that lead you back to this form. So thank you, friends. Please leave a like, please subscribe. I hope it's been truly helpful. I will see you in another video.